Hello everybody, Hunter's Studio here, and today we're going to be making a video on, something that's just so sad to me. This caused me a lot of sadness when I heard about it last week, but Warzone Mobile is dead. And this is a day or so after that announcement was made, and yesterday was the last day you could download it from the App Store, so it is no longer available. But the game is still around if you have it downloaded. You can still play it for a little while until whenever they shut down the servers, but man, this just makes me so sad because this game carried me like the entirety of this year in entertainment. So, last year when it first was getting like put out, I was so excited. I was just so ready for this game. And back then I didn't even have a new iPhone. So the first thing I did when I got my new iPhone, my iPhone SE, was I got Warzone Mobile and I was so excited. And sure, yeah, it sucked. It had such bad gameplay, but it was still something. It was fun. This was the first time I'd ever played Warzone. Like I did not have it on console before that. So I got my start in Warzone on mobile. And so that's where I unlocked my first bundle. I bought my first bundle on mobile. I got my first win on mobile, obviously. But it was just so fun to me. And there were glaring issues, but I overlooked these issues at the start because the game was just enjoyable to me. And yes, they do hit you in the face every once in a while. And many people, when this game first came out, that was all they talked about on the YouTube. But I always tried to talk about the good because this game is just so good to me. And yes, it had problems. Like when I remember the first game breaking bug when it came out was people's bodies would disappear and they would just be floating heads. And it was very buggy and unoptimized. But it got progressively better until, man, when Black Ops 6 came out, and what you're seeing now is gameplay just from this morning, the day after the game isn't available. But this is the newest version. Look at how, obviously, it's not console level, but for a mobile game, this is an amazing graphics. I'm playing this on an iPad 10, but just it's gotten better. And I think the whole reason they just shut it down was it wasn't generating enough income and it just didn't have enough player base. And that's been a problem since the beginning, is there just wasn't enough real players. It promised full lobbies of full people, but the things was with the technical specifications and stuff, just not enough people could download this game. So since the beginning, we had a lot of bots in our lobbies. And then every once in a while you get surprised by some real people, but it just when the Black Ops 6 update came out, it just got worse. This whole 3 seasons before Warzone Mobile is now shut down was just filled with some of the bawdiest lobbies. Like you'd find maybe two or three real people in Battle Royale. And that was really disappointing because it was fun to play this on mobile because the whole reason why I prefer this over like Call of Duty Mobile or whatever is because it's all connected. And so when I did start Warzone on console, all of my operators, all of my bundles, my finishing moves, my blueprints and skins and level were all there. And that's just what made it cool is so when I'm away from home, away from my console, I could play the connected Warzone mobile Warzone experience. I could still level up my battle pass XP. I could do my guns, the camo grind. And I just thought that's just the greatest thing about this. Sure, the gameplay, yeah, wasn't too great and it sucks with optimization, but it was fully connected. And I think the other part that got me, I'm a big sucker for voice lines. It had the voice lines. And it wasn't just like new operators just for Warzone Mobile. These are the operators from the main game brought into mobile, and then you have their voice lines. And that just was so cool to me that you can experience all of this on your phone. So it's been pretty sad trying to live with this because it just seems so surreal to me. And I know, obviously, if they're not generating enough income, this is kind of a burden for them to have just to keep a server running that isn't gaining much income. But man, I enjoyed the heck out of this game, and I am sad that more people did not. There were a few channels that did content for this. I was one of them before my channel got deleted, but they were always doing the negatives. I always tried to do the positives. I could get all the finishing moves on here. I could do everything you could do on Warzone, basically, you could do on here, except for a few things. But when they brought Omni movement into this game, I knew this was just great. Because Omni movement on mobile, that is just insane. And so, yeah, we got to live with it. There's nothing that's going to change. The game's already off the App Store. Um, and who knows how long it'll be till the server shut down. But I'll be here till the end, along with a few other dedicated people. I will be here until the final time when these servers are done, because Warzone Mobile was part of my life for so long. And like I said, this is just where I got my start. So I have nostalgia with this. It's not like I was playing Warzone before and I went on mobile. This is my start of Warzone. This is where it all began. My whole Warzone career was on mobile. So that's why it's just so sad. It's like leaving from your starting point. And it's just very sad because it always brings back such nostalgia. It was such a fun thing to do, just to play. Pick up your phone, play a quick resurgence match. Pick up your phone, play a quick multiplayer match. And that was the other reason why this thing slapped. You could play the multiplayer maps without needing to buy the $70 game. And I just think that was so cool that they included that feature. But yep, I'm just really hoping eventually they may try again. Hopefully we get a Warzone Mobile 2.0 because it got better. I'm sure the devs learned a lot from this experience, and I really hope they go again into doing more. And they are giving incentives out for Warzone Mobile players to go to Call of Duty Mobile. I personally am not going to do that because I do not like Call of Duty Mobile. It's just not Warzone Mobile. It just doesn't look as cool. But if people want to do that, they can do that because they are giving out some pretty good stuff, I've heard. So yeah, that's it for me. RIP to Warzone Mobile. May you rest in peace, my friend. This game just, I don't even know how to describe it. You had to experience it. It was just, it worked so badly for some people, but for me, it worked perfectly well most of the time. But I just had an enjoyable experience on this game, and it's sad that we have to leave it behind. So, Hunter S Studio, out.